Hi, and welcome to our after church tea time for the importance of sharing. Thank you so much to everyone who watched the sermon on our Church of Union YouTube video. And I know I really enjoyed it, and Adam and Brianne did an amazing, amazing job of sharing this message, which was part of the healing as well. So we have a couple of people here with us for our after church tea time. I'm Mark. We have Carolyn, Danny, Charlie, and Kaylee. And we're just going to talk to you about our experiences of this sermon and what we felt this really meant for us. So before I give my other panelists a chance to speak, I'm just going to share a little bit of what this meant for me. So for those of you who don't know, until 4 months ago, I thought I was a divine feminine. And for me, I was hiding a lot of my healing, and I really felt very often that there was this really bad thing that I was hiding inside of myself. I was always convinced that I was going to get to some healing or have some sort of past life memory, and that something terrible, like something awful. And actually, the thing that I didn't want to share even with myself was my true nature, that I'm a divine masculine, and that I'm actually perfect, and I don't have any evil or any, there's nothing bad inside of me. I'm just pure spirit. So sharing myself helped me to be seen, and also helped me to get those pieces of healing from other people who could see, whoa, Mark has some numbing. There's something going on there, And so for me, like, that sharing was really absolutely key in finding my true self. And I really resonate with everything that Adam and Brianne shared. Yeah, so I'd like to hear a little bit from some of my other panelists. So who would like to share their experiences?
Well, yeah, it was wonderful. I really enjoy watching it. I feel like there is no purpose of living if we're not sharing. And yeah, like it was very, nurturing to watch that. Like, every time that I'm sharing, I feel alive, and like I feel with that purpose, and I feel that like, yeah, I was like, browsing through my Instagram earlier this morning, and I was just like looking at, quotes, and one of those was like, find something that, gives you the energy that you need every day to wake up and blah blah blah. And so like I was feeling like I did it, like I found it. Like every day I have a purpose. Every day I wake up and I wanna wake up and I wanna go along with my day, because I know that it's juicy, because like we are, thriving, creating, and going deeper, and like deepening a relationship with God and sharing God's love. And so yeah, like I feel like this sermon really touches all of that. Yeah, the importance of like of sharing, how that is the purpose, right? Like it's just to be with God, because I mean, if you are with God, then you are gonna be sharing, right? Like it's gonna just feel so natural for you to share, like so easy for you to just do that, because there is nothing else like where you want to be. Like there's nothing else you want to be doing but to just, give your gift. And like that is what like actually makes us like happy, even though like sometimes, the sneaky voice tries to come in and tell you that you shouldn't share because you're tired or something like that. I mean, that's not true at all, but because like everybody feels so fulfilled when you're actually like sharing your purpose, or like doing what you're passionate about, right? And so yeah, like I feel like every single person has, their own purpose. And so I feel like what God wants is for all of us to really connect with that, so we can share from there. And then that's how everybody, that's kind of like that is reminding me to the new earth that Jeff and Shaleia talk about, how it is like everybody is just living their purpose, right? Like everybody's connected. And so yeah, that feels very good. Like to make the choice to live, to start living that life already is just heaven. And so yeah, like I feel like this sermon was an invitation for everybody to connect with that, and like to really enjoy what it means to share, right? Like it's a privilege to me. And yeah, like this is something so beautiful and not a burden. And that's actually like, I was feeling like this is like a collective block where people are going through, like sharing is, you know, can like be a burden, but it's not. Like it's actually something so profound. And so I feel like, you know, Adam and Brian really invited us to connect deeper with this truth of what it truly means. And then from that place, we can create, we can expand, we can connect with all of, like, you know, our own creativity and just do beautiful things and start, you know, enjoying the joy of being here on earth and helping our brother to, you know, to be here, right? To be in heaven. So I feel that this was perfect. This was, it was very aligned to what we are healing as a collective right now. So I'm very happy that this was the topic of today's sermon, and to be here talking about it. Yeah.
Does anyone else have something that they'd like to share? That was beautiful. Thanks, Danny.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I can share. Yeah, sharing was always like a big thing for me. Since in the beginning of this journey, I always had a struggle to share myself. But with time, I learned how to do that, and I'm still going deeper into sharing myself. And I always look at myself like I always kind of hold myself back in a way to share myself in the past, and now like the awareness that I'm coming to, like sharing myself is not more than just loving God. Like it's not because you have to share, but it's about you desire to love God into it. You desire to bring God with yourself, to enjoy God with you when you're sharing. And it's like a romance feeling. You're romancing God. You know, and yeah, I had another thing to say, but I forgot. Let me see. Yeah. Another thing is for me that I'm, I guess, learning now is like I was sharing a lot on the outside, but I wasn't receiving anything back. This was the block that I was having because I wasn't actually sharing with myself first the gift that I was, the perfection that I was. And sometimes it can be in that way, like, you're giving to the outside with the expectation that something on the outside is going to bring the value of who you are. But sharing means as well, you give that to you as well first. You share with yourself first who you are. And you choose to value yourself when you're sharing yourself. You choose to receive all your good. You know, um, I kind of inspired because yesterday Angel and I would have like amazing session with Stephen and Joanna. I don't know how to say his name, and they really helped us to go back to that grounding place with God when God is all good, all the good things. So you don't need to have any relationship with the judgment, when you're being yourself and you're sharing yourself. And this is a big thing, to be all of who you are. You don't need to hold yourself back, and yeah, I mean, yeah, this is what I'm learning now with sharing myself and just really surrender that it's safe to be myself, all of who I am.
I would like
You
to
are
read
muted.
something. Oh,
Oh.
I was gonna say that I would like to read something that Chrissy is saying. Yeah, so first she said, yeah, sharing your gift is the way. I love the part of the sermon today, Danny. We all are a piece of a puzzle, and sharing is the way for us all to connect as one child of God and expand his will. It is a privilege. Amen. And then she said also, you romance God when you share God's love. I love that. It reminds me of a lesson from Shaleia that the greatest way we can love God is loving God's children. Oh, yeah. Amen. Yeah, that feels so good. Like, yeah, this is everything. Like, I feel like this is like kind of like what Jeff and Shaleia teach us, right? Like this is it, right? Like to just, let's just be one, let's just share. That's the like, or else we cannot ascend, right? Like that's it. So yeah, like yeah, it feels very good to really connect with that energy of like, sharing and being one. And like I do feel that oneness more, in the community, and like, in the world too, like people just going deeper. And yeah, like I feel like it's time, like it's really time for everyone to start like just sharing and thriving. And like if you are watching this and you don't have life purpose class yet, well, it's time, like that's what it's gonna give you. I mean, I remember that when I got it, I was I was watching all the time, like really focusing like on watching. Like at first I was like kind of like just focusing on like watching TFAS. That I have that too. But then I started to put my, my devotion to really learn from Jevin Shalia and life purpose class, like everything in my life started to blossom so perfectly, because it teaches you how to share, it teaches you how to connect with your own gift and then share from that place and live your perfect life. It's that's it, right? Like it's yeah, so everybody should be, connecting with that and living from that place. And yeah, so if you're watching this and you don't have it, I feel like this is a sign. This is a sign.
I wanted to say too, like, the reason why people struggle so much about sharing themselves, is because they desire to feel safe, because we are healing our past experiences, our traumas. That's why the map is so important for this situation.
Mm-hmm.
And so we desire to feel safe in being who we are, because in the past we were told that it's not safe to be who we are. It's not safe to be all the good things of who we are. So we believed in the lie that we are not good, that we are not perfect, that we are like bad in a way. And so it's really important to release these thoughts, to not have any kind of relationship with it. You just focus on God there. God is all the good things. So you don't need anything else from outside of it. Only God, you
Mm-hmm.
only need God. And if you don't feel fully safe, you can bring more safety into your heart and just to fully ground that safety. It is safe to be with God. It is safe to have all your good and just surrender into this love, into this feeling.
Yeah, and like also I love what like Adam and Brian said, that one of the reasons why we're like afraid of like diving into our purpose, right? Like it's because we're afraid of change, and that's so true. And like psychologically speaking, there is like a like collective, fears too, right? And like people are very afraid of change because like you don't know what you're gonna find out, and that's control, right? Like that's just separation control. You want to control because you don't know where is God gonna bring you, so you want to control everything in a little box so you get everything under control. And that's why you don't want to change, because you know that like once you make the choice to change, then you're gonna have to be open, you're gonna have to be surrendered, right? Like, and that's what Jeff and Shalia teach us too, right? Like that's how you also get harmonious twin flame union, right? So like, yeah, it's like it's that fear of like the unknown. But I feel like it's really time for the collective to start shifting that like lie that like the unknown is bad, because that's like, oh, it's bad, change is, you don't know what's gonna happen and it's bad. And then if you hold on to that belief, then something is gonna happen because you are creating that. But like the truth of change is that it's just perfect, because it's you surrendering and it's you opening up to what God wants, so God can show you the way so you can actually have your perfect life, the life of your dreams. So yeah, like I feel like when it comes to like change, it's like I feel like you just have to do it, like it's just go for it. um like, and then embrace whatever comes up, because you can experience like staying like in the same place for a while, pretending that you are doing something but you are not. And then you know, that's not gonna take you anywhere. So yeah, like it's just doing that one thing that you resist the most, because that's changed. And then once you do that, you know, you're on the other side, and boom, you got it. So yeah, I feel like this sermon was really speaking to the consciousness about that, you know, like it's perfect, like it's beautiful to change what you're saying, Charlie, like it's safe. There is no such a thing as, like, you know, the unknown is going to harm you, because there is no such a thing as harm, only love is real. So yeah, like it's completely safe to be open to change. And like, you know, we're constantly changing. Every day we're changing, every day we're transforming, every day we're growing, every day we're ascending. So believing that like change, you know, is a bad thing is just, it's insane. So yeah, like I feel like it's really time to let go of that pattern and really trust and know that, like, if only love is real, God is on the other side. So let's just be open to change wherever, you know, like how Jeff and Shaleia always say, like if God called them, they just go, you know, like, oh, God told me to do this. If I have to drop everything, I remember Jeff saying that if I have to drop everything, I'll drop everything. If, like, you know, I listen to God. Like Jeff and Shelley are not afraid of change, and that's why they are where they are. And like, you know, and they are our gurus, and that's what they teach us. Like, you have to keep moving. You cannot control, because when you control, that's when you don't want to change, and then boom, you feel bad, and life is bad, and where are you, God, and all of this shit, right? So yeah, like I really hope that this sermon spoke to everyone in this place of like where we are afraid of change, because then that also affects your work, how you do everything, like how you your creativity too. And so yeah, like I really hope that at this moment everyone is making the choice to let go of this lie that change is not good, so you know we all can just thrive and enjoy, right? Like it's a beautiful thing to share. Something that came up to me, I don't know if you guys ever seen Grey's Anatomy, but like as I was saying, it's a beautiful thing. It came to me what Derek used to say, like it's a beautiful day to save lives. And yeah, like it's a every day it's a beautiful day to share God's love. Every day we should feel fulfilled, you know, that we are sharing God's love. Every day it's a beautiful day. So yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Danny.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. Kaylee, would you like to comment on that?
Yeah, I just love it so much. Like Danny, just, you know, start with like purpose to start out with, just like you're passionate about that purpose, and it's just really powerful. And I think that I think it's one of the biggest challenges of us like sharing ourselves and really being our authentic self is because it is really not feeling safe to do so. But that's what I love about this work so much, is that because I've been super resistant even to this work, and so I've had to just continually you know, gently been reminded to go deeper in the work so that I could realize that, you know, my defensiveness and the things that kept me from really sharing exactly who I was, from really going into ministry. I've like had this call for years, but I've always like been like, oh Lord, you're not calling me this. So I'm like, not right now. And so you know, but here I am, like full circle. And I think that when we can really align ourselves with our truest nature, whatever that is, and be able to share that gift that God really wants to give us, that's really when we start to be bestowed our genuine gifts of God, because we're all supposed to lead like a really abundant, beautiful life. And so yeah, so I just wanted to speak to that purpose too, that I don't know, it is that purpose that helps us to really align ourselves with spirit, to be able to share ourselves authentically, and realizing that that really it's God that puts that stamp of validation to us, right? It's not our brothers and our sisters. It really is it's God's divine validation. So we don't need to be defensive, because God will validate that and give you the freedom in your life that you're looking for when you opened up to being that authentic child of God. But sometimes it takes, at least it's taken me time to just a lot of coaching, a lot of deep inner work to release even some what I felt were my purpose, but really aligning. Yeah, because sharing this work is really, it's getting more and more natural. It's feeling much better than it ever has. So anyway.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Kaylee. Yeah, we've had some people sharing as well about their, their journeys with going deeper in this sharing. So Ocean says that, she's felt that like her motherhood, because she's pregnant, is actually, been something that's been triggering that fear of sharing, and that's where God is calling her to share His love and to serve Him through loving His child. And we have Lisi saying, God's divine validation, not our brothers. Amen, Kaylee. So thank you very much for giving your piece here. Carolyn, would you like to share as well?
Sure. This sermon was perfect for me because this is something I've been healing through too. And I just jotted down so many notes on, what Adam and Brian had shared about this. And I think for myself, it's, moving through, I think finding value or feeling like I have value in sharing my healing journey with others. And I feel like that's something I think that comes up for me when I feel maybe shy about sharing, or maybe that fear does come up. But I do notice, when other people share, I find just so much value and appreciation and gratitude for that. And so that would be something I guess I would offer for anybody who feels like hesitant or shy about sharing, just to think, how does it feel when you notice others sharing? And just trusting others are going to also receive that gift from you in the same way you're receiving a gift from others. And it is all through God. And I love this piece that, if you're not sharing, you're silencing God and you're saying no to God. And that's something that absolutely does not feel good. And it's like, these experiences, and I think, I'm kind of like just co-creating with God, being with God through the whole process. There's such beauty and such, freedom in that. And it feels really good. And so that's something, one of the pieces I'm taking from this, that, it's safe to be able to share. And there's such a gift in this giving and receiving, and everything that you do share, is going to help somebody, right? And I think it's remembering that too, that there is so much value in your experience and who you are.
Amen. That was beautiful. Yeah, and the thing that's coming up for me is just, when we share, we have so much self-judgment that comes up. And so even just doing this live stream, I'm sure every one of you has had some sort of judgmental thoughts popping into their head, and we're constantly doing our inner work and being vigilant for that voice of the ego so we can bring love, right? And really being focused on that piece that's underneath it all. And so the thing that really kind of stood out for me, especially when Kaylee was sharing and when you were sharing, Carolyn, it's just this bringing some compassion. You are who you are and you are where you are right now. And that's going to include some upsets. That's going to include some things that'll trigger other people. And all you're responsible for is loving yourself. And so when you're sharing yourself, all you're responsible for is sharing that love, not what people are going to think about you or whether you're going to trigger them or not. And also not whether you're going to be perfect. So even this live stream doesn't have to be perfect. And we're releasing the concept of perfection, because actually everything that is perfect. It doesn't have to look a certain way to be perfect. And so when you share yourself, you know, once you release that judgment, there really isn't anything that anyone could think that could affect you, because you're not letting those thoughts affect you. Yeah, and there's also something else, you know, in divine truth, we're all in a dream, and behind it all, we're with God constantly. We're all with God right now. And so if you think about that, this is a dream, you know, and none of us are really separate from each other. So if you're not separate from someone, what is there that you could experience or judge that could be frightening or different than what you already know?
Yeah, something that also came up to me is like, and like if you are having like trouble with connecting with your purpose, or like with like you feel stuck and you feel like you keep encountering like a block that like it's not really, you know, being released, then Charlie mentioned MAP, right? Which is perfect, right? Like mind alignment process, you heal if there's a trauma there. Because like, yeah, also what Keely said, like about defensiveness, like I was feeling that too, like, you know, at the beginning when I started the journey, and it was just my traumas. That was it, you know, like there was nothing more powerful than me. There was nothing outside of me, nothing that I couldn't conquer. And yeah, like have, you know, I just made the choice to really have compassion for myself and give myself the support that I need to thrive, right? Like, and like that's why like I'm very passionate too, right? Like Keely was saying, like I have always been like that. And like everybody has that passion, right? And like, but like if you don't heal any trauma or whatever that it's within you, then you cannot really thrive fully with your passion. You cannot really share your gift, because you have to heal yourself, or else what are you really teaching, right? And so yeah, like the thing here is that there is like there is no excuses, right? Like there is no reasons why you cannot share your gift. Like there are no reasons. Like if you are feeling, you know, that you're upheaving or you're going through a lot, well, you can rest, relax, be with God, take time to heal, just have fun, and then keep going. That's also part of sharing, right? Like this week I was called to do a lot of inner work, and I was like, but God, like I have so many things to do, you know, like, and like, you want me to just go like take a walk and like just take the day off, you know? And I was like, okay, but like that's what it is, I'm just gonna do it. And like it was so good. And then yeah, it was God just saying me, like telling me like, yeah, you just have to do whatever I say, right? Like because that, like I know better than you, and it's okay to accept that. It feels so relieving, you know, like to allow God to guide me in my life. And yeah, so it was like, yeah, just relax and then do your inner work. And then I came back with a, you know, from like really focusing on my inner work, feeling alive, feeling so good, and like feeling like, yeah, let's just keep going. And I find that like sometimes we are like so like focused on like work or whatever we're doing, that like we control that, and then we're like, no, I have to finish this, I have to do this, so like I'm just gonna stay here doing this, and then I don't give myself the time that I need. And that's crucial. And that's something that like came up in the reading that I did for like this sermon. And it was so crucial, you know, like always make sure that you're balanced. You cannot give from a not balanced place. You have to you have to do that. And if you don't know how to, well, you just have to make the choice to listen to God, and then that's it, you're set, you know. And yeah, like there are no excuses. You can heal everything, because we have the power to heal everything, the power of choice. No matter, like the other day I was also thinking, like, you know, I'm planning on like going to my second round of like mind alignment process. And I was like, and I don't care, you know, that was my thought. I was like, I don't care if I have to do this 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Like I'm not gonna settle with not feeling completely healed. I'm not gonna settle with holding myself back from thriving and from sharing my gift. And yeah, and so I feel like everybody has a very unique gift, and everybody deserves to be sharing that and to be living life from that place. And that's true happiness, that's true joy. And yeah, like it's really time for us to connect with that joy and to feel, you know, completely safe and worthy of experiencing this joy, you know, like it's always good to take time to sit back and to look at like what you've done, how far you've come, you know, where you are right now, all the challenges that you've conquered, everything. And you know, be proud of yourself and then keep going, keep thriving, and keep, you know, doing your thing. So yeah, like I'm very passionate about this. I could keep talking, but that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you, Danny. Yeah, I actually just did my second round of MAP about like 2 weeks ago. And I did my first round of MAP like 5 months ago. So it's been recent, and my first thought was, oh, what are people going to think if I just came out of MAP and I have to do it again? But it was for different traumas, like completely different. And I had to trust my spiritual mastery, you know? And I had a call with Chrissy and she says to me, I trust you. I trust your mastery here, you know? Like I had to really honor the peace that God was sending through me. And,
Yeah.
you know, really let go of that. What will people think? What's it going to look like? Again, that judgment thing, you know? Yeah. It's definitely so good when you heal the traumas, because it's like they have like spikes around them, you know, and it's like don't look here, no, go away, you know, and it just pushes you away and deflects you so subtly sometimes you don't see it. So I know in the sermon they also spoke about that, you know, how that's where we have to be open to receiving the feedback from the people in the community. And you know, you don't join this community if you don't join this community to feel just like happy and peaceful and not have anyone say anything to you. You join it to grow and to ascend, and you know you're going to get triggered. So you know that people are going to touch you in the places that hurt, and your immediate ego reaction will be like, oh, this hurts, I want to pull away. But actually it's like, oh, this hurts, let me go towards that place and bring love. So yeah, and like the thing you said, Danny, about, you know, really like connecting with that life purpose class, like finding your gift and sharing that. If you don't know what it is, just share what you feel like sharing in that moment, and it's fine if it changes, because you'll start being able to really feel that good feeling and trust that, and really just keep doing more of that. Like I love that Charlie was like sharing poems and then paintings, and now it's like services that he's offering. And these paintings are amazing and they make you feel so good because he loves doing it. You know, when you love and just like love God, when you share that, it feels so good to receive that from someone. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I love that we talk about MAP, because like Adam and Brian talk about that today in the sermon, and it's very important, right? Like it's crucial for us to go through that. And like yeah, like I felt the same too. Like I feel like, you know, my first round of MAP, I heal like, you know, these core traumas and experiences, and then, you know, the air was clear, and then I was like, oh, there's this here too, like okay. And then like I've been actually like writing down, you know, because I'm very excited. Like I love healing, you know, like I love healing. It purifies me. Like it's so beautiful. Like feeling your feelings is the most beautiful thing, you know. It frees you. Like you know, you just feel free, you know. Like it's just amazing. You know, there is nothing to fear, no matter how big the trauma, no matter how big the situation is. You just have to feel your feelings, and like even if it's like like, you know, like you just want to cry and like feel all of it. But like whenever I heal something big, like because I'm always allowing myself to feel that. And if I not, God will tell me, hey, you're not feeling this, or you're gonna feel it. And or my twin flame, right, like poking me like, hey, you have to heal this. So yeah, like it's whenever I'm feeling like something big, like as I'm healing it, I feel so alive. Even if I'm crying, right, like even when I'm crying, like feeling whatever that it is, I'm like, oh, this is so good. Like, yeah, you know, like I'm healing this pain, this hurt, but like it's so good because I'm actually releasing it. And so a lot of people have a lot of like fear of like going through MAP, like healing trauma, because it's like, oh, I don't know what it's gonna be, you know, how it's gonna look like, and I'm like, well, definitely it's gonna be better than what your life has been so far, because you're gonna be with no trauma, you know. So yeah, no matter, like, don't be afraid of healing, because that's one of the reasons why we hold ourselves back and then we don't share and blah blah blah. Because when you share, you have to heal too, of course, because you're being seen, right? Like, you're being vulnerable. I mean, you're sharing something, you're being vulnerable. Whenever I share something about me, I feel vulnerable, but you have to be willing to heal through that. And it's like, it's perfect, right? Like, so yeah, like, don't be afraid of the challenges, just embrace the challenges, and that's how you also share. So what you were saying, Mark, like, if you're watching this and you don't know what your purpose is, then, you know, do what feels good, and know that, you know, the challenge will come once you share. The you know, the upheaval is going to happen. Don't freak out when that happens, right? Like, because it's just part of it. Just take it in, like, you know, enjoy. It's a good thing. And even if it feels yucky, you know, when the upheaval happens, know that it's the upheaval, and know that like a good thing is coming, and you're just releasing. So everything is good. Only love is real. Always remember that. So yeah. Yeah. And I think Chrissy, she posted the link for Mind Alignment Process. So if you're watching this and you're feeling that this is speaking to you, it's time for you to get rid of that trauma and thrive.
Yeah, I wanted to speak to that too, because I was in like a cycle where I felt really trapped. I have a ballet school, and I was like driving Uber, trying to like, you know, but I was like, well, you know, this doesn't really have to pay my bills. I love it so much. It's super fulfilling. So that doesn't really have to support me. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be, you know, a nutrition coach, and kind of let that be what's going to really fund my school. But then I had 3 things on my plate, and I couldn't manage any, you know, it was like way too much. And I remember going into MAP last fall, and that was one of my traumas, was feeling trapped. And so I don't know, right about the time that like COVID happened, I ended up hiring, like, I ended up through the summer, I just kept hiring coaches. So I hired a business coach, and then because I was really resistant to the work here, and then I realized I needed a twin flame coach, so I hired my coach. And then that led me to fix the energy leak, which was my ballet school. And so I hired like a really specific coach to help me like restructure, like completely restructure financially. And so that's actually my base. And so that I could, and then I came full circle realizing that I didn't really want to be a nutrition coach. I really wanted this coaching to be my purpose. So I think sometimes, you know, whenever you're stuck, it's really helpful to get help with that trauma, whether it's in MAP, whether it's in coaching, and really just finding, you know, those solutions so that you get the help that you need. And I remember, you know, years ago being, you know, in restaurants and just, you know, artist lifestyle, right? So I'm trying to get by, you know, waiting tables. And that's always been one of my biggest blocks, is actually asking for help. I never got in trouble for not doing the right thing in the restaurant. It was always, Kelly, if you just ask for help. And, you know, I think that we value so much in our society, like we value so much our independence, that we forget that we really are interdependent upon God and upon one another. As long as it doesn't put, you know, as long as we're not going to that place where we're being codependent on those people, right? Which is why we have coaches, we have professional people to guide us now. We don't need our best friends to coach us anymore, because we have professional people who have learned the way and are so anyway, I would just share that if you're feeling stuck in your life purpose, because chances are there's just somewhere where you're afraid to be authentic. And it's really diving into, you know, what's going to help you find that authenticity within yourself. So just wanted to speak with that. Hope that helps someone.
That was really well said. Oh, thank you so much.
I wanted to share something about it. Like, that for me was really important when I was beginning this journey. But when I was in the Twin Flames Open Forum, I never shared much in the beginning. I stayed like for a whole year just looking posts, posts of people sharing themselves. And the truth is, even a simple post in the open forum when you're sharing your healing journey, I had so many moments when I was like just doing the mirror exercise, and I felt like, oh, I'm going to give up or something. And then I just chose to stay present on the open forum. That was the only thing that I could do, to never leave this teaching, to never leave the community. And even though I feel like I'm going to give up, so just look one post today or another post, for someone, because when you read something, that someone is sharing their healing journey, you just like, you know, you you heal together with them. You receive the healing, and the most of the times is exactly the same thing that you're healing. So this helps you and supports you to grow more, so you can be able to share. Because in the beginning I wasn't sharing, but all those people that shared their journey in the past, they helped me to heal my block, so I can be able to be here and share myself more. And that's okay to receive the support as well, so you can share yourself, because the truth is you were created to share yourself, so you actually desire to share yourself. It's who you are. So it's not because you don't like it, it's because you need support there. You need to be loved there, so it's okay to accept the support. And if you're resistant, that's okay. You can go deeper into healing yourself so you can give more. And for me, it was exactly that. I desired to share a lot, but I wasn't giving to myself the support that I needed, so I could be able to share a lot. And this is where I'm learning the balance that Danny was mentioning in the reading. You need to balance everything around you. Everything, like giving yourself the love, and as well respecting your flow, because everyone have a unique flow to share yourself, to love themselves, and because you're respecting God's flow through you, and that's okay. Respect, for me, it was really realistic judgment about, like, someone maybe have a better flow than mine, because they look that they're sharing a lot and I'm not sharing, so it's just like self-judgment. But it's just because the way that you're not connecting with your flow, and you're not getting to know yourself deeply, and recognizing that you are perfect already, and that's okay. You can trust God, that you don't need like to force yourself to be yourself. You just surrender and receive God's love, so you can give God's love through you.
I love that. Thank you. Like, just wanted to say, like, to put the emphasis on, like, wow, like how important it is to accept that you need support. That's the first step. Thank you, Charlie. It's to say, yeah, I need support here. And there is nothing wrong with that. Like, it's absolutely perfect. Like, because I mean, we are all one, like Kelly was saying, right? Like, we are all one, we are interconnected. So we need support from one another to thrive, I think I got frozen. Anyway, yeah, I was just saying that, like, yeah, like, it's just so beautiful, like, to accept that we need support. And that just makes us, human and humble and one, and to know that we can support one another and that we are one consciousness. And so, yeah, like, I feel like, that's very that's perfection. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's also, like, as you guys were talking, I got some personal news which was quite disturbing, and I just realized that there are some emotions that we don't feel comfortable sharing because there's a lot of shame. Not even just shame, but like there's a sense that if you make it very public, it is a shameful act. So things like grief, Like if someone passed away, if you share this, you're going to make people feel bad because they won't know what to say to you. Oftentimes people really hide their grief and really keep it private because you have this discomfort. You have this really, really awkward moments when you tell someone of a family member passing and, people don't know what to say. And so then because you don't want that discomfort and that awkwardness, you just like keep it to yourself. And it's like women who, like, let's say have miscarriages. Very few women talk about that. There's so much shame and kind of, this feeling of, I have to hoard this emotion. I have to hold this emotion inside of me because if I share this, I'm going to make someone else feel bad and I'm going to make myself feel bad. I'm going to make my grief worse if I share it because then I'll be in it more. Whereas the reality is when you share it, you also heal and you also release. And you're not sharing from a place of sitting in the upset. You're sharing from a place of recognizing this is a big emotion for me. This is a big thing for me. And I need to share this to heal it and to let myself open up to receive that love. So yeah, it's safe to be vulnerable and emotional,
Yeah.
Completely
How are you
safe.
feeling?
Actually, really want to cry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's, there's still a part of my ego that's saying, you shouldn't be talking about this. It's not your thing to share.
Well,
You
you're
don't have
sharing.
ego.
Sorry?
You don't have ego. God is not
I
ego.
don't have ego. Right. And so, yeah, the person who passed away was actually one of Karina's family members. And I never got to meet him in this flesh, but I always felt very connected to him. Very, very connected to him. And so there's a lot of grief coming up for me right now because I just saw the message while we were in this live stream. And there's a lot of feeling of powerlessness, like powerless to help her, powerless because I never got to meet him, powerless because part of me believes that I am a body and that death is permanent. But actually, nothing's changed. We've always been connected to each other. He's always been in my life. We've always been one. And he's not a body. So his body dying doesn't change that.
Mm.
So I'm just really grateful for this work and grateful for this community and grateful to have this support at this critical time. God always has a reason for everything. So thank you guys for also holding space for me.
Yeah. And like it's safe for you to give yourself the time to grieve. Yeah. I feel like Caroline will have like a piece here.
Yeah, it makes me think about the piece about like opening up your heart to be able to receive that support and know it's safe. And so like, what was shared about how as you do share, you do open up that space to receive back, right? And it's safe to be able to do that. Yeah. And it's a way of just like honoring yourself in your journey and receiving love. Just knowing it's, safe to be able to receive that love. Yeah. And I think that's just like a beautiful thing about being able to share. It's also this connection piece and connecting with others through God and going back to just that giving and receiving and sharing and receiving and how there's such a beautiful gifts with that.
Yeah. And like how giving to yourself, right? You're giving to yourself right now. And that's the number one priority, right? To give it to yourself. So yeah. Yeah, this is beautiful, right? Like to always allow yourself, like, oh, I need to give myself love right now. I need to feel this, heal. And it's so beautiful how this unfolded, and like God, God works in mysterious ways, and everything is perfect. And yeah, you're just showing that right now, Mark, right? Like role modeling how, yeah, you always have to give to yourself and feel whatever that's coming up. And that kind of like, embrace everything from the sermon, everything that we're doing, and how this is part of sharing, this is part of living. It makes us feel alive. So thank you for sharing what you were going through right now.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, it's actually incredibly intimate. When you really open and you really let that in and really share that, it's so intimate and so healing. And it just really makes you feel that there is no separation between any one of us. We're not separated by this flesh shield, like we're all absolutely one spirit in God.
Mm.
Yeah.
Amen.
Thank you so much. Well, I have a lot that I'm processing. But this sermon was a beautiful, beautiful gift to receive at this time. And sharing it with you all has been immensely meaningful. And I'm sure the people on the live stream as well, we've had a lot of comments, a lot of really, really good feedback. Just keep going into those little places that feel like they don't want to be seen. And it's safe to be completely vulnerable because you're just in communion with God. Do you guys have any final things you would want to share before we close out this live discussion?
I feel very complete, very peaceful. Yeah.
Anyone else? Okay. Well, on that note, thank you so much to everyone who joined us watching this live stream. Thank you to everyone who was here with us, listening, sharing the emotion, sharing the healing, sharing the intimacy, and just really, really connecting with God, connecting with Source, connecting with Spirit. This is sharing. All of this is sharing. Your whole life is sharing. You're sharing yourself with God, and you will find what lights you up, and you will be able to just flow with the universe and flow into every perfect moment, no matter what happens, no matter which emotions come up. So thank you very much, everyone. This has been beautiful. Bye.